Thank you, Willie, for that. Number 3, Adam McLean. Let's get to Tim for the start of the Bennett. So it's not the Bennetts, is it? The Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. Tim. Oh.
Yeah, should be nothing too untoward on the conditions board there, but we do have Ewan McGuinness, the son, of course, of John McGuinness, on behalf of Dunlop, the sponsors, as the starter and garlander of this race. A very special privilege for him, as we're 15 seconds away from the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. Dan Cooper on the Turner Racing Yamaha, and like before, we'll let you listen to the bikes as they set off, as we're now 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Dan Cooper on the Yamaha. Next will be Dean Harrison on the Laylaw Racing Yamaha. Adam McLean next on the Binch Racing Yam. Nobody at 4, so Michael Rutter is confirmed as a non-starter, but this will be Ian Locker on the Laylaw Racing Yamaha. Racy start from Locker there. Number 6 away is David Johnson on the John Chapman Racing Honda. Next it'll be Dan Sale on the Yamaha. Number 8 is Chris Moore on another Yamaha. Turner Racing Yamaha and Michael Sweeney next at 9. Don't think we have a number 10, so an additional non-starter it looks like on the Laylaw Racing Yamaha for Phil Harvey. So next away will be 11, Joey Thompson on that John Chapman Racing Honda. Lovely green, and he was settling into the seat there. BP colours. 12 away, that's Paul Owen. Padgett's Honda of Lee Johnson at 13 away now. Gary Vines, number 14, another Binch Racing Yamaha. '15 is the Yamaha of Charles Rees Hardesty. Very distinctive pink helmet of Davey Morgan on the Honda away now. No Stuart Hall at 17, so next away will be the McGill Honda of Ricky McGovern. Black drops. Plenty of blue smoke, a blue haze across Glencrutchew Road. There's no number 19, Craig Neve. So next away will be John Barton on the Ducati. Next away in 21st is 28, Carsten Svensson on the Yamaha. Can't see who is due next. Number 30, Chris Swallow on the Ducati. Doesn't appear to be under the arch. It looks like it's number 24, Peter Boast on the Kawasaki. It is. Next away is 32, Stephen Howard. Followed by the Ducati at 27, Alex Sinclair. Tom Snow on the Yamaha. '41, Stephen Holt on a Yamaha. Dan Cooper, we're hearing, has retired at Crosby Crossroads as Simon Hunt, number 47, gets underway. '52 James Ford on the Honda, the last we see away with that very orange, distinctive Dayglowy helmet. Let's go out to Glen Helen. Dave Christian.
Yes, thanks, Tim. Just awaiting the first man on the road here, and we're just not picking up any engine noise just yet, but won't be too far away before we hear the engine singing as they come up the valley, and we're awaiting the arrival. First man on the road, obviously with Dan Cooper missing, there'll be an extra 10 seconds for Dean Harrison to get here. First man flashes out at Glen Helen 2, flick to the right. It's very fast on the approach from Dean Harrison. No problems at all for him, but he's being caught on the road. Adam McLean has caught Dean Harrison pretty much on the road. He'll have him in his sights down Cronkivody, and McLean has a 6-second advantage over Dean Harrison in this opening sector of this 4-lap race. And there's definitely engine noise coming up the valley now. You can hear them now as the next man into the corner, down the box, flicks it over to the left-hand side. That's Ian Locker. And Locker quicker than Harrison as well, but he's just less than a second down on Adam McLean on the opening sector, so this is looking quite tight, although in its very early stages just yet. But Adam McLean with the early advantage. He is 1 second quicker than number 5 Ian Locker, who in turn is 5 seconds quicker than number 2 Dean Harrison. But the rest of the field will start to stream through very shortly. Next man into view. Again, down the box, tips it in. It's number 6, Davo Johnson. A little bit slower than Dean Harrison there for Davo, so not quite the best start for him. And it is still Adam McLean who has got his nose in front in the very early stages of this race. Next man into view. Off the throttle, down the box, knee out. That is number 9, Michael Sweeney. And he has caught and passed number 8, Chris Moore. So Michael Sweeney onto a great start. But Sweeney still not touching those top 3. Just tucks into 4th place at the moment behind Dean Harrison. 11 now into Glen Helen. And number 11, Joey Thompson, safely through on his opening lap. And that is 13, Lee Johnston. And Lee Johnston dives into the top 3. Johnston goes ahead of Dean Harrison on corrected time into a podium place in the very early stages of this race. Miles Owen, Paul Owen safely through on his opening lap. 8th quickest so far for Paul Owen. 14 through now, Gary Vines. Vines doesn't threaten the top 3 either. It's still McLean from Locker and Johnston in that order. Just 1 second the gap between McLean and Locker. Lee Johnston is a further 5 seconds back on Ian Locker, and just a third of a second ahead of Dean Harrison. So very, very tight, as you'd expect with evenly matched machinery. Next bike, it is distinctive pink helmet. This must be Davy Morgan. It is indeed Davy Morgan, and he doesn't threaten the top 5 either. Still McLean from Locker, from Johnston, from Harrison, and making up the top 5, Michael Sweeney, number 9. Outside of that, Joey Thompson, number 11, holds 6th place. Gary Vines, number 14, holds 7th. David Johnson, number 6, holds 8th. Davy Morgan, number 16, 9th. And Paul Owen, number 12, makes up your top 10 so far. Next man through is number 18, Ricky McGovern. Nice and steady from Ricky McGovern, and doesn't threaten the top 10, just hovering around outside it as we await the next man on the road. Was a gap here. Craig Neve was a non-starter, so Johnny Barton should be the next man here. Number 20, the last of the seeded group, and it is indeed the Ducati. Nice and safely through. Adam McLean and Dean Harrison now both at Balaf, but McLean now has the lead on the road. McLean looks like he's caught and passed Dean Harrison on the run down to Balaf. And John Barton now drops onto our leaderboard in 13th place. That's number 20, John Barton. Little gap now, 2 non-starters before 23, Tom Snow. Tom Snow not here, that's 24, Peter Boast. Peter Boast is number 24, safely through here into 12th position. That's 32, Stephen Howard, number 32, and he is in 14th place so far. So 3 now through at Balaf. Ian Locker through as well, still in second place, and it is Lee Johnson that we need to see through Balaf for the update. 27 comes through Alex Sinclair on another Ducati, and he is holding 16th place at the moment. He is Tom Snow now, that's 23, Tom Snow. And 16th place, just a little bit quicker than Alex Sinclair, just a third of a second split in 16th and 17th place. Dave O'Johnson now through Balaf. 2 more interviews, 41 and 47. 41, Stephen Holt from Ramsey. 47 is Simon Hunt. And Holt into 19th place, and Simon Hunt into 16th, pushes Tom Snow and Alex Sinclair back. And just quickly recap now the top 5 for you. Glenn Helen on lap 1, the leader of the race. Number 3, Adam McLean. He has a 1 second advantage over number 5, Ian Locker. In 3rd place, number 13, Lee Johnston. He is 5 seconds down on Locker. In 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison. He is a third of a second down on Johnston. And making up your top 5, number 9, Michael Sweeney. He is 9 seconds down on Dean Harrison. Back to you at the grandstand.
There's only one place to be in June, the Isle of Man TT races. If you're enjoying TT 2018, do it all again in 2019 with IOM TT Travel. Sailings are available to book now, and there's a huge choice of campsites, glamping options and hotels. Our expert travel advisors will be happy to help you plan the perfect TT 2019. See iomtt.com for more details, or even better, call into the travel shop at the rear of the grandstand and book today.
Would owners of domestic animals and livestock adjoining the TT course please ensure that they are secure during the practice and race periods?
Men's Radio TT.
Some additional non-starters there. Number 45, Alistair Howarth. Number 58, Lee Jennings. Number 43, Will Loader. And number 44, Hefin Owen. We did list him as a non-starter. He did prove to be a non-starter in the end. Balaf Bridge, I can tell you that number 3, Adam McLean, was 2 seconds ahead of number 5, Ian Locker, who is in turn 3 seconds ahead of number 13, Lee Johnston. And he is nearly 6 seconds ahead of number 2, Dean Harrison. Let's go to Ramsey Hairpin. Roy Moore.
Not for the first time. 250s in and around the Ramsey. Well, they've had a kind of a career over. They changed it once to the junior in the 250 class, but certainly the 250s being very prominent round the TT Mountain course, and a big race developing at the front there, because Adam McLean has broken the beam down the road and now is kind of race leader and leading on the road here at Ramsey, and sweeping at Stella Maris. Gets a little 250 answered up, knee out, left hand down, but Ian Locker is not too far behind. And certainly, it's Dean Harrison that's number 2, that's not too far, but he's been overtaken on the road by Adam McLean. And Dean Harrison there, he was only not too far away, but Ian Locker's the one we're looking for. I can tell you Adam McLean has increased his lead from the run from Balaf here to Ramsey, because here he is now, distinctive yellow fairing there, and again, knee out, the 2-stroke style. Keep the knee down, just doesn't quite chime in on the pipes going away, but Adam McLean leads by 4 seconds from number 5, Ian Locker here at Ramsey, who in turn is 11 seconds ahead of, in 3rd place, number 2, Dean Harrison. I don't think anybody else would come to affect that. Certainly that was the top 3 that have gone through. Lee Johnson would be the one at number 13 that could slot into 3rd place ahead of Dean Harrison if the times from Balaf Bridge are to be taken into consideration on the run here to Ramsey. But it's Adam McLean by 4 seconds, 3.954 to be absolutely politically correct, from number 5, Ian Locker. Within 3rd place, number 2, Dean Harrison, 10.8 seconds down on Ian Locker. Michael Sweeney is the next to arrive here, and David Johnson. So they are running at number 9 and number 6. And who's first on the road? Down through the box they go, both, and get them anchored up, and it's number 9 who's first on the road, Michael Sweeney. From number 6, David Johnson, and the brilliant sunshine here now all the way up through towards the climb up towards the waterworks as the little 250s chime in and away they go. Disappointment there for first starter Dan Cooper, only to get as far as Union Mills, but there is Lee Johnson now, and there's a battle on between him and Ian Locker. There's only half a second in it. Ian Locker still holds on to that second place, 3.9 down on race leader Adam McLean, but third place for 13 Lee Johnston. He's only half a second down on Ian Locker, but 10.5 seconds ahead off in fourth place, number 2, Dean Harrison. We then slot into fifth place, number 9, Michael Sweeney, 9 seconds down on Dean Harrison, and moving up, it should be the next machine that we see into view, number 11, Joey Thompson into sixth place, 11 seconds down on Michael Sweeney, and there is number 12, Paul Owen, going through, and Gary Vines will be behind him, we assume, and it is absolutely correct, because there is Gary Vines, so we can slot them in. They drop David Johnson down to ninth. So it is in fourth place, number 2, Dean Harrison, 10 seconds down on Lee Johnston. Fifth, number 9, Michael Sweeney, 9 seconds down on Dean Harrison. Sixth for number 11, Joey Thompson, 11 seconds down on Michael Sweeney. We then have in seventh place, 14, Gary Vines, 4 seconds down on Joey Thompson. Eighth for number 12, Paul Owen, 13 seconds down on Gary Vines. Ninth for number 16, Davy Morgan. Well, he's no mistaking him with that fluorescent crash hat, and he's round Ramsey Hairpin and holding on to ninth place, but he's only 0.2 of a second down on Paul Owen. So there's a battle to look out for between 8th and 9th. Number 12, Paul Owen, just a 0.2 of a second ahead off in 9th place, number 16, Davy Morgan, and that relegates number 6, David Johnson, to 10th place, 3 seconds only down on Davy Morgan. So 10 riders through Ramsey Hairpin on this, the first lap, and certainly Lee Johnson seems to be going on the pace there, just half a second down on Ian Locker, so that's one to look out for. Ricky McGovern should be the next interview here at Ramsey, be wearing number 18, and certainly that is the case, bit more sedate than the others. Gets it fired up though and gets it round, 11th place for him, but he's 20 seconds down on David Johnson, so that appears to be the top 11 here through Ramsey Hairpin, but it's a lead of 3.9 seconds for Adam McLean over Ian Locker, but that battle between Lee Johnson 13 and Ian Locker just half a second in. They will be, I would think, approaching the bungalow now, so we just go over to the bungalow and we can tell you that Adam McLean, Ian Locker and Dean Harrison are through the bungalow. It's Adam McLean from Ian Locker by 7 seconds, so he's made that pull up the mountain climb up to the bungalow, the sweeping left-right over the tram lines. Adam McLean leads by 7 seconds over Ian Locker at the bungalow. Not as yet at the bungalow, Dean Harrison is, but he's 15 seconds down on Ian Locker. So we're just looking out now for number 13 to see whether he can move up with that second position on Ian Locker. But certainly with the drop time, another further 4 seconds, it's certainly Adam McLean who is stamping his authority on this race. Another machine interview here at Ramsey. Going through, I think that's number 32, Stephen Howard. Stephen Howard slots into 12th place, but he's 8 seconds down on Ricky McGovern. And yes, Dean Harrison is through. Michael Sweeney is through the bungalow as well. No change really, although it seems to be a thing there. That's Lee Johnson through. Lee Johnson is up to second, only 3.5 seconds down on Adam McLean. It's Adam McLean at the bungalow, number 3, from 3.5 seconds from 13, Lee Johnston. In third place, it's Ian Locker, just 3 seconds down on Lee Johnston, with Dean Harrison now 15 seconds down in fourth on Ian Locker. Back to the grandstand.
Yeah, well, Adam McLean, we've just been looking at that sector, has absolutely flown up the mountain to the bungalow, but Lee Johnston must have been likewise. Looking at the sector times, Lee Johnston was actually even quicker by half a second or so. Yeah, they both rocketed up the mountain, hence why we're seeing those positions there at the bungalow. And the light is now on for number 3, Adam McLean, here at Cronknamonas, just up the road from us. And we will see him in a 50-60 seconds or so time. But Ian Locker, Dean Harrison's 15.6 down on Locker, who's third. Harrison in fourth, and he's just 8.8 ahead of number 9, Michael Sweeney. Dean Harrison light on for number 2 now at Cronknamona, and also the light on for number 5, Ian Locker. Joey Thompson, Michael Sweeney's in 5th at the Bungalow. 6th is number 11, Joey Thompson. 7th, number 14, Gary Vines. And 8th, number 12, Paul Owen. We still haven't seen Davy Morgan. He's just 2 seconds ahead, is Davy Morgan, in that battle between Morgan and Owen. But we should see our race leader come flashing past us here at the grandstand very shortly on Glencrutchery Road, as we look up to the trees to see number 3. Here he is. That's sounding as sweet as a nut as he goes across the line. 116.33. The quickest in practice was 114.7. David Johnson has retired at Casey's, we're hearing. David Johnson, number 6, retired at Casey's. As there goes Dean Harrison at 113.37. And here's Locker. And Locker at 115.59. I can also tell you that Peter Boast, number 24, retired at Burlap Bridge. And can also say, well, we've had the Charles Rees Hardesty at Appledene Corner, and also Dan Cooper earlier on, very early on, 4.5 miles in at the Crosby Village Crossroads. But let's go to our leaderboard and get the right page up. There we go. I can tell you that it is a 7.4 second advantage that McLean enjoys over Ian Locker. Number 3 leads number 5, 7.4 seconds, and then it's a further 23 seconds back to, at the moment, in third, Dean Harrison. But Lee Johnston is the man who's in second place at Cronknamona, and we should see him and Michael Sweeney come into our sights here at the grandstand very shortly indeed, emerging from the shadow of the trees into the bright sunshine. I'm glad to say we have. Crosses the line now, that's Sweeney. And there's Lee Johnston. And Lee Johnston, in fact, does go into second place ahead of Ian Locker. And he's just 4.1 seconds behind Adam McLean. 115.915 miles per hour for Lee Johnston, compared to Adam McLean at 116.329 miles per hour. McLean's time on the Yamaha, 19 minutes 27.622 seconds. Johnston was at 19 minutes 31.791 as Joey Thompson goes through and slots for the moment in sixth position. Locker at 115.589. Time-wise is 19 minutes 35.099. He's 3.3 down on Johnston. Then a further 22, nearly 23 seconds down in fourth is number 2, Dean Harrison. 9 seconds back is number 9 in fifth. That's Michael Sweeney. 2 bikes across the line there, and that is Gary Vines and Paul Owen, numbers 14 and 12. 110.680 for Gary Vines, compared to Paul Owen at 108.795 after very little sleep repairing that Honda. Michael Sweeney then is in fifth. He is 9.6 down on Harrison. 112.461 miles per hour on the opening lap of this Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. 3 more laps to go. In sixth, number 11, Joey Thompson at 110.870 as Davy Morgan goes past, and Morgan is, well, just 1 second ahead of Paul Owen. And they're both, can we call them, veterans of racing here on the Isle of Man. Great friends as well, and I'm sure they'll be talking their way through the race over a beer a little bit later on. Keep swapping positions all the way. But it's sixth place Joey Thompson, number 11. 7th is number 14, Gary Vines. 8th is number 16, Davy Morgan. And 9th at the moment is number 12, Paul Owen. Go back to Cronknamona and see who else is there. We just need to get that screen a little bigger, so we'll just go back to the leaderboard. Adam McLean then, 4 seconds the advantage over number 13 Lee Johnston. Johnston in turn is 3.3 seconds ahead of Ian Locker, and then it's a bigger gap then to the rest, led by Dean Harrison, Michael Sweeney, Joey Thompson, Gary Vines, Davy Morgan, Paul Owen, and last across the line there was Ricky McGovern. Stephen Howard, number 32, is indicated at Cronknamona, but no time to see him across the line as we go to Glen Helen. Dave Christian.
Yeah, bang on you there, Tim. Adam McLean through there onto the power and making his climb up towards Sarah's Cottage and then along that big long straight at Cronkervody as the field starts to stretch out a little bit in the opening lap. Just 10 bikes through the grandstand. I'm sure that'll change very shortly, but at the moment, Adam McLean's got clear track in front of him and clear track behind him. No one's going to get a sight of him for a little while just yet, even if they were catching. Here's the next two together on the road. 2 and 5. In that order, Dean Harrison first on the road, Ian Locker not too far behind him now, and Locker definitely will get a sight of Dean Harrison as they move down the straight there at Cronkervody. Won't go leaderboard just yet. We'll wait for Lee Johnston to arrive. He was 4 seconds behind leader Adam McLean at the grandstand, with Ian Locker in third and Dean Harrison in fourth. But McLean, first man through on the road, looks like he's got a clean lead at the moment at least. And Lee Johnston will be the man who will shake that up a little bit. But the next man on the road should be number 9, Michael Sweeney. And he will drop into, well, he was 5th place at the grandstand. He's not going to threaten the top group, I wouldn't have thought. We took a look at the Solvay speed trap times, Ian Locker quickest, 150.5, but joint quickest with Lee Johnston, also 150.5. Adam McLean, 149, Joey Thompson, 149. So those top 4, all pretty close in the top end speed. And then Dean Harrison and Ricky McGovern at 146. Here's the next man into the left-hander, that is Lee Johnston. So Lee Johnston safely through here, and the gap's down to less than a second. He's caught and passed Michael Sweeney on the road, and Adam McLean leads, but number 13, Lee Johnston, is less than 1 second behind him, 0.892 of a second. So it really is hotting up this race on lap 2. Adam McLean leads by less than a second from number 13, Ian Locker. In third, Lee Johnston, sorry. In third place, it's number 5, Ian Locker. He is 11 seconds behind Johnston. In fourth place, number 2, Dean Harrison. He's 28 seconds down on Locker. And in fifth place, number 9, Michael Sweeney. He is 6 seconds back on Dean Harrison. So it is Lee Johnston on the charge. He said he wanted to get 4 laps in. It looks like he's going to get them. Here's the next man. That's number 11, Joey Thompson. He's onto the power and making his climb up towards Sarah's Cottage and holding 6th place. He was 17 seconds down at the grandstand on 5th place, Michael Sweeney. That gap is now extended. It is 23 seconds. So either Joey Thompson falling away, Michael Sweeney speeding up. Difficult to say which is which. Gary Vines, I think, should be the next man through, number 14. And Gary Vines just 2 seconds down on Joey Thompson. So we'll have a look. There is Gary Vines now. Gets that bike length well over into the corner before he comes back onto the power. He does hold on to 7th place, but that gap between him and 6th place, Joey Thompson, down to less than 2 seconds now. 1.5 seconds it is. 12 comes through, that's Paul Owen, but he's in 8th place currently, but I think Davy Morgan may just go ahead of him. That's difficult to tell. There was only a second in it when they came through the grandstand, and we'll wait for Davy Morgan's arrival before we can confirm that. He should be the next man on the road, and he was, Davy Morgan and Ricky McGovern should be the next 2 from the order that they came through at the grandstand. Looking a bit further down that leaderboard from Glen Helen on lap 1, looking for some movers. We've seen number 32, Stephen Howard. He started 24th place. He was up to 14th. 10 place gain for him. Number 47, Simon Hunt, started 28th. He was up to 16th. And good gain for him there too. And 2 local Ramsey men, Stephen Alt and Andy Cowie, I was keeping an eye on. Steve Alt, he was 20th place here at Glen Helen on lap 1, started in 27th, he's riding number 41, and Andy Cowie, who's the chairman of the Ramsey Town Commissioners, so the the mayor of Ramsey, so to speak, and he's riding number 53. And he started in 32nd place, and he was up to 25th at Glen Helen on lap 1. And just checking on those guys up through the grandstand, Steve Alt up to 13th place. And who else through? Andy Cowie up to 19th. Next man arrives. It's not Davy Morgan. That is Paul Owen. And Paul Owen safely. Sorry, Ricky McGovern. Tell a lie. Paul Owen already through. That was number 18, Ricky McGovern. So no Davy Morgan. Ricky McGovern safely through here and holding his 9th place. That will mean Paul Owen is 8th. Davy Morgan drops away from the leaderboard. But it is, it's really building into quite a tight race at the top of the tree. Adam McLean, number 3, leads number 13, Lee Johnson, by less than a second at Glen Helen on lap 2. With Ian Locker in 3rd, a further 11 seconds back. In 4th, number 2, Dean Harrison, 28 seconds down on Locker. And in 5th place, number 9, Michael Sweeney, 6 seconds adrift from Dean Harrison. Back to you at the grandstand.
Wherever you live in the world, IOM TT Travel can book everything for the perfect trip to the TT or Classic TT races, and all it takes is a deposit to secure. You can choose from the biggest range of campsites, glamping and hotels at iomtt.com, and we have great inclusive packages for all budgets. Check us out at the travel shop at the rear of the main grandstand, speak to our expert travel advisors today, and you could walk away with TT2019 all sorted.
Would owners of domestic animals and livestock adjoining the TT course please ensure that they are secure during the practice and race periods?
Men's Radio TT.
New leader at Balathbridge, Lee Johnston, number 13, is 1.8 seconds ahead of number 3, Adam McLean, and Ian Locker, 10.9 seconds back, is in 3rd. He's 30.5 seconds ahead of number 2, Dean Harrison. So a change in the lead. Carsten Svensson has retired at Ramsey Hairpin, where we're going very shortly. John Barton has retired at Balathbridge, but it is a new race leader at Balathbridge. Lee Johnston is 1.8 seconds ahead of number 3, Adam McLean, and Lee Johnston also quickest at the Sulby Speed Trap at 151.5 miles per hour compared to Ian Locker at 150.5. So he's absolutely flying through the speed trap straight to Ramsey and Roy Moore.
Yeah, Adam McLean has broken the beam down there and probably be fully aware now. Well, it all depends where his signalling station is, but he's certainly here. Swift on the side of that fairing. Well, that reminds us of Swift Skips, who used to be regular sponsors round here, the Roger Owen, when they were running that particular one. But the Swift on the side of Adam McLean, well, he'll have to be swift because he's now relegated into 2nd place, but only by 1.8 seconds as they leapt over the Humpback Bridge, the famous Humpback Bridge at Balath. And certainly that will be the case. Ian Locker is through, indicated through, and this is him here now. The 2-stroke, that's number 5, Ian Locker ahead of Dean Harrison on the road, but the same equipped that are supplying the bikes to them. But Ian Locker safely through, 12 seconds down on Adam McLean as they went through here, and Dean Harrison a further 33 seconds down. So certainly Ian Locker has pulled out 3 seconds on Dean Harrison, so it will be interesting to see what the comparison is between when Lee Johnston finally gets here, what the difference will be. At Balathbridge, 1.8 seconds. Just speculating there, the pull up the mountain, we're not sure what the wind would be like up there. Certainly since our arrival here at Ramsey Hairpin, the wind seems to have dropped. But again, it's down to lack of practice time to get your gearing right. And certainly it's very, very critical on the smaller machines, the 125 and the kind of ones, the 650s, the 250s. Certainly gearing very, very vital. I can tell you that Lee Johnson is signalled as breaking the beam at Ramsey Hairpin, and he sweeps into view now with a lead of 3 seconds here at Ramsey. Number 13, Lee Johnson, pictured it over and round. That very super quick lap of Bruce Anstey last year, I don't think it's going to be threatened. 120 miles an hour plus, but certainly Lee Johnson has got the Paget's machine ahead by 3.154 seconds here at Ramsey Hairpin. This could be Michael Sweeney that's with us here now. number 9? It certainly is, and he goes into 5th place here at Ramsey. But it's certainly number 13, Lee Johnson, who has taken over the lead. They will have to pit, so there could be vital. It's only 3.154 seconds that he's got a lead, an advantage over number 3, Adam McLean. Ian Locker has dropped a further 2 seconds there into 3rd place behind Adam McLean, because Ian Locker holds on to 3rd place, number 5, 12.342 seconds down now on Adam McLean. Into 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison, 33 seconds down on Ian Locker, but 10 seconds ahead of in 5th place, number 9, Michael Sweeney. Joey Thompson at number 11 should be the next machine that we see here at Ramsey. What was it at Ballaugh Bridge? He was 28 seconds down on Michael Sweeney at Ballaugh. Here he is now, Joey Thompson safely through. Tucked down in behind the fairing. The little bike chimes into life as it goes away, but he's dropped a further 4 seconds on the run here to Ramsey on Michael Sweeney. He's now 33.5 seconds down on Michael Sweeney. Gary Vines should be the next interview. Can he get up into that 6th place? Certainly it was a battle between him and Joey Thompson at Ballaugh. There was only 0.2 of a second in it. Here he is now. It's number 14, Gary Vines, and certainly moves into 6th place, but he's only 1.5 seconds ahead. Now he's changed that there on Joey Thompson and Gary Vines. Gary Vines moves into 6th place now, 31 seconds down on Michael Sweeney, but only 1.5 seconds ahead of in 7th place now, Joey Thompson. Well, whatever Paul Owen has had to do in that rebuild, it certainly seems to be working, and the light indicates that he's here at Ramsey Hairpin. The Welshman drops it down through the box, tight into the inside, flips the throttle a little bit. He's holding on to 8th place, but he's 49 seconds down on Joey Thompson. So a couple of battles there. Let's see if that Lee Johnson going up the mountain might even be the small jockey that he is. Certainly might be beneficial on the lower part of the circuit where it's relatively sheltered, but again, with a bit of wind up the mountain and not getting the gearing, well, certainly it might be indicated as they go through the bungalow. Adam McLean has made the mountain climb. Ian Locker has made the mountain climb to the bungalow, and certainly number 2, Dean Harrison, has made the mountain climb to the bungalow, and there's not a great deal of difference between their times. In fact, it looks as though Ian Locker's probably dropped a couple of seconds to Adam McLean there on that climb. It was 12 here at Ramsey Hairpin, but it's 15 now at the bungalow, so we'll get number 13 through, and that will give us an indication of the race position as they head for fuel on the 2nd lap of this Dunlop sponsored Classic 250. Interesting observations that going back over the results, there was a lot of EMCs certainly came on the scene, the Rotax machines, and certainly Steve Tonkin and Con Law and various others. Clive Horton campaigned them at great length, and they're not as yet been put in. Lee Johnson still leads, but his lead has been reduced. Lee Johnson through the bungalow, number 13. Second, Adam McLean, number 3, but it's now 2.5 seconds. So it's 2.5 seconds the lead at the bungalow that Lee Johnson had it over Adam McLean, and Ian Locker has dropped a further 3 seconds. He's now 15.5 seconds down on Adam McLean, with Dean Harrison in 4th place, number 2, 39 seconds down on Ian Locker. Back to the grandstand.
Light is on for number 3, Adam McLean at Cronknamona. What a battle it is between Lee Johnston and Adam McLean. And, well, Ian Locker's not too far away, and he is now at Cronknamona. Light on for number 5. So they'll be on their way down to Glencrutchery Road. Another Northern Ireland rider, Davy Morgan, not so good, has retired at Ballacrane. But Adam McLean should have made his way through Governors and on to Glencrutchery Road and into the sight and view of everyone on a pretty packed grandstand here. And it will be coming in, of course, at the end of lap 2 for the pit stop. And here he is. Let's go down to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, nice and steady into the old stop box, over straight as he can be, past it and stop and into his little box there now. Straight on the field. There'll be no tyre change with these boys. Little 250s are quite good on the tyres, not too bad. So they just changed the visor. The RI visor goes in on the left pod, then into the right pod. They just click into position. Screen gets cleaned, and we're keeping a little eye on what's happening there back at the bungalow. I can tell you the gap. The Lee Johnson and the McLean's was 2.6. Lee won't be too far away from Cronknamona now. Just waiting for Ian Locker and Dean Harrison, numbers 5 and number 2 respectively. There will be the two guys coming in. His first man is Locker, bouncing in number 5, nice and steady. Ian's just about 3 pits a bit further down from Adam, so this could be a little bit tight actually as Adam gets the stop on. I can see what's going to happen here. Watch out, boys. Oh, well done, boys. Well watched. Brilliant stuff. Adam gets away. And, well, the gap with Lee Johnson at Crunknamona, it's 2.4. That's what the gap was between Lee Johnson and Adam McLean as they go through Crunknamona. So we've got the number 5 machine. We've got the number 2 machines. The sister bikes are in. Dean Harrison stays 4th. At the moment, the gap he had back off Ian Locker was 44 seconds. And Ian Locker back off Adam McLean as he came through Crunknamona was 16.4. But as he came over the start and finish line, Adam McLean led Ian Locker by 17.8. But we've got to equate, obviously, that the Lee Johnson time into that with Dean Harrison 45 seconds back. So Locker's still in. Tim O'Hanlon's got the laptop going up there, getting the official times on the pit stop. So here we go. Lee's going to cross the beam any moment now, and we'll be able to give you the exact gap when he comes in. I think he's going to be next on the road. The Paget's 250 is, and he's a little bit further down from us, about another 10 or 15 yards further down. We got past the cameraman. Don't want to try and run over that guy there. So here comes Lee in for his pit stop as number 2 gets away, Dean Harrison. So Ian Locker with a bit of a longer pit stop for Ian, so he's going to lose a bit of time. So Lee Johnson's lead. Adam McLean has already gone. There, you just heard in the background. You heard, that's Klingding. So what? Oh, it's 1.7. 1.7. So it's come down a little bit. Lee Johnson leads Adam McLean into the pit, 1.7. But Ian Locker's lost a little bit of time. However, he does have about 45 seconds up on Dean Harrison. So Lee Johnson's team, just fuel for Lee. Nothing else, just fuel and a visor. Get some words of advice from Clive. Just give them the info. And it's only 1.702 of a second. That's all it is. 117.463 for Johnson. 116.870 for McLean. And Lee is away. Yeah, she fires up. So well done. Good pit stop by the team. And Tim O'Hanlon will have the laptop, and his old head works like a computer, so he'll have the times worked out pretty quick. 1.7 as they came into the pit stop. And Tim O'Hanlon, what is the difference after the pit stop?
1.3, a lead for Lee Johnson, because he took 55.2, whereas McLean took 53.9.
Locker's pit stop quite slow?
1 minute and 31 seconds.
So could have lost a bit of time, so 31 seconds. What was Dean Harrison's?
He was just over the 1 minute, 0.4.
Okay, so we'll have a little bit of time back, so it could be close between Lockett and Harrison. Tim?
Yeah, very, very tight then between Lee Johnston and Adam McLean after that pit stop. Probably less than half a second or so with the differences. Ian Locker, well, maybe Dean Harrison might just have got ahead of... it'd be pretty close between Harrison and Locker as well after the pit stops. Harrison was way quicker, Ian Locker way the slowest, and... looking at the difference between them was around about 28 seconds, and maybe Chris Boyd around that difference in the pits, I think.
Yeah, Harrison, 31 seconds quicker in the pit stop, so 27 or so seconds between them coming in. Harrison will move ahead of Locker by about 4 seconds.
It's all speculation. It'll all pan out when we go to Glen Helen on this lap 3. But of the pit stops that we've got here, McLean 53.9, Lee Johnson 55.2, Dean Harrison 1 minute and nearly half a second, and Ian Locker 1 minute 31.373. Down to Chris.
Gary Vines looks like he could have a few problems here. Davey Morgan's just dropped out. This will drop this, bring this man in, number 12, who's moving up the leaderboard now. And Gary Vines a retirement. That's a massive disappointment for his team there. Running around about 6th place or so. Looks like there's a load of water. Bullet, maybe it's just overheated a little bit. But number 14 is a retirement. Tim Paul Owens in, number 12.
Yeah, and Lee Johnston coming in, slowing down, of course, was still at 117.463 for that lap 2. Nowhere near the Bruce Anstey lap record, though, of 120.475. It was 19 minutes 16, whereas Anstey's record is 18 minutes 47.4. Adam McLean was at 116.870 on that lap. Locker 115.835 miles per hour. Dean Harrison 113.618 miles per hour. Gary Vines, 112.151. He's in 5th. 6th coming into the pits, number 11, Joey Thompson, 111.520. And Paul Owen just wanting to get those 4 laps in for all his lost friends. Is number 12, Paul Owen, was 108.100. Let's go to Glen Helen, Dave Christian.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Right on cue. First man on the road. Down a gear. Knee out. Wrestles the bike over. Onto the power, and very, very fast and very, very smooth. And all the essential ingredients for a quick lap around here. Adam McLean there. And a little bit of a wait now before the next man arrives. Ian Locker, of course, dropped a little bit of time in the pits. Sorry, Dean Harrison should be next. Ian Locker then dropped a little bit of time in the pits. And just can't quite hear any engine noise down the valley just yet. But I can look back at the Sulby speed trap times from lap 2 and give you an indication. Lee Johnston went the fastest of the race so far, 151.5. And he was fastest, second fastest, 150.5, Ian Locker, which was consistent with his first lap. McLean and Joey Thompson both 147.8, and Dean Harrison 145.3. So Locker and Lee Johnson are certainly the quickest men in a straight line down that Sulby Straight, and if that gives you a snapshot of what's happening in the race, then so be it. Next man arrives, down a gear, into the left-hander. That is number 2, Dean Harrison, safely through here on his second lap. Next man is just behind them, though. On the road, at least, that's number 5, Ian Locker. And Locker is ahead of Harrison by 18 seconds, 18.6. And that's the difference between Ian Locker and Dean Harrison. So Harrison didn't quite catch him after that pit stop. But here's the man we've been waiting for. It's the Paget's bike of Lee Johnson. And he's up the lead, but it's down to a 1/10 of a second. Number 13, Lee Johnson on lap 3, leads number 3, Adam McLean, by 1/10 of a second. So it really is a tight race, and let's see what they can do in these last 2 laps. Ian Locker is in 3rd place. He's a minute behind Adam McLean. Dean Harrison, number 2, in 4th place. He is 18 seconds down on Ian Locker. Looking at some of the names we were watching in the middle of the order, the 2 local men, Steve Alt and Andy Cowie. At number 41, Steve Alt, Glen Helen on lap 2. He was up to 11th place from 27th, and of course with Gary Vines dropping out at the end of that lap, that'll be Steve Alt into the top 10. Number 53, Andy Cowie, the mayor of Ramsey, in 18th place from a number 32 start, so he's going very well too. The 2 Ramsey men there, a little bit of hometown favouritism from me, but I'm not ashamed of it. Number 47, Simon Hunt, started in 28th at Glen Helen on lap 2. He was up to 14th, so a 14 place gain for Simon Hunt. Steve Howard, number 32, started in 24th. He was up to 10th at Glen Helen on lap 2, so big gains for him. Number 50, James Tye, he started 37th. We had him at 19th at Glen Helen on lap 2. And Mark Woods, number 49, started in 41st place, and he was up to 24th, so another good performance there. But we now await the arrival of the next man. Should be Joey Thompson, I think, number 11. Let's just have a little look. A bike does come into view. Into the left-hander, it is indeed Joey Thompson. He gets onto that power straight away, but not making too much of an impression there. He is 47, well, call it 48, 47.7 seconds down on 4th place, Dean Harrison. That's number 11, Joey Thompson. We'll call that 48. He's 48 seconds down on 4th place, Dean Harrison. So with those gaps, Dean Harrison potentially could catch Ian Locker, but Locker's bike very good in a straight line. We've seen those speed trap times, and not many riders will know this course better than Ian Locker with all his experience here, so it looks like he might hold on to that. But up at the top end, Lee Johnson and Adam McLean. McLean looked very, very fast when he came through. First man on the road. Beautiful line onto the power as soon as he could, and looked very, very smooth indeed. And if he's on a little bit of a charge there, it's going to be down to a straight line fight between him and Lee Johnston for the top spot on the podium. As it is, it's advantage Johnston but only by a tenth of a second, and a tenth of a second could happen just about anywhere around here. That difference is too small to be really countable until you get to the final finish line. But it is Johnson leads McLean by 1/10 of a second. Impossibly close at lap 3 at Glen Helen, but still a little way to go. And as we've seen with the retirements so far from this race, machinery is a little bit sensitive and can cause some problems. So we've got to wait and see who gets to the end. It's number 12 through. That's Paul Owen. Paul Owen, nice and steady from Paul Owen. Number 12 in 6th place at the moment. That's probably going to be confirmed. That's after Gary Vines dropped out. But again, he's not likely to threaten 5th place Joey Thompson. There's 1:21 between them. Lap 3 at Glen Helen. Lee Johnson leads Adam McLean by 1/10 of a second, with Ian Locker making up the podium, but he's a further minute back on McLean. Back to you at the grandstand.
There's only one place to be in June, the Isle of Man TT races. If you're enjoying TT 2018, do it all again in 2019 with IOM TT Travel. Sailings are available to book now, and there's a huge choice of campsites, glamping options and hotels. Our expert travel advisors will be happy to help you plan the perfect TT 2019. See iomtt.com for more details, or even better, call into the travel shop at the rear of the grandstand and book today.
So at Ballath Bridge, Lee Johnston, number 13, now enjoys a 4.6 second advantage over number 3, Adam McLean, who in turn is nearly a minute ahead of 3rd place number 5, Ian Locker. He in turn is 23 seconds ahead of number 2, Dean Harrison. Neil Champion has just exceeded the pit lane speed limit and has a 30-second penalty. And just looking further retirements, Michael Sweeney at Hilbury, we gather he ran out of the old go juice, I'm afraid. Up there, Gary Vines and Stephen Howard have retired at the pits. So that is as up to date there. Just the 4 through Ballath Bridge as this race gets stretched out again, and just 7 have made it through to Glen Helen, but we're off to Ramsey Hairpin and Roy Moore.
Yes, running out of fuel at Hilbury is not unusual. Even 26 times TT winner did that. Joey Dunlop against a battle with Charlie Williams one particular year. But there's a battle on out on the track, and Adam McLean and Lee Johnson are the 2 contenders for it. And Adam McLean has made Ramsey number 3. Chips it round, rear light on, but the brilliant sunshine there not required, just gets it on the pipe and away. He'll be fully aware, and certainly 2-stroke riding, well, they've certainly adapted to it. We're just speculating here at Ramsey on the last lap. It certainly needs to be about 4 or 5 second lead that Lee Johnson would hold over Adam McLean due to him losing that over the mountain. But when the adrenaline is at a rush, certainly it might not be the case. But certainly Adam McLean safely through Ramsey Hairpin on lap number 3. Fuel stops are on board, so all the fuel will be there to do this and to completion of this lap, and a final flying lap as well, and it could be some record that they'll be going for. I don't think they'll do the 120 as last year, but certainly whatever it's going to be close if it continues the way that it is at the moment. At Ballath Bridge it was 4.6, the lead for Lee Johnson over Adam McLean. Comfortable then for Adam McLean over Ian Locker, 59 seconds, and then 22 seconds between in 4th place Dean Harrison and Ian Locker and Joey Thompson. But Ian Locker is here at Ramsey. We're assuming he's broken the bean down the low, and it won't be about the same distance as it was previously, but Dean Harrison is ahead on the road of Ian Locker, instead of his teammate as they started, but certainly there would be still advantage Locker, I would suggest, because of the starting difference there. Lee Johnson, he's pulled out a 7-second lead here at Ramsey Hairpin. Number 13, Lee Johnson, is safely through. Just gets it on the pipe a little bit further up the road than everybody else, but certainly cruising it round here in a higher gear, then just gets it going under there. But it's a 7-second lead, so he's pulled out a 4-second advantage on, 3.5-second advantage on the run from Ballath Bridge here to Ramsey Hairpin. Has Lee Johnston now holds a 7.3 advantage over in 2nd place number 3 Adam McLean, who in turn is about the same as it was at Ballath Bridge, 59 seconds his advantage over in 3rd place number 5 Ian Locker, with an advantage then over Dean Harrison in 4th place. Number 2, Dean Harrison, 27 seconds is the difference between him and Ian Locker, between 4th and 3rd. So having they go, the Yamaha versus the Honda battle. Well, that's reminiscent of battles in the past. Those of you who can recall 250 racing round here with Phil Reed and Jim Redmond, the 2-stroke Yamaha and the 4-stroke Honda certainly did many battles round the TT Mountain course, and certainly on the continent as well, on the World Championship, that was the case. And certainly I know for a fact that Steve Hislop, who we remember with affection every time we mention his name, one of his greatest disappointments over on the Isle of Man mountain course was not securing a 250 2T win. So it's all up in the air, so to speak, but certainly Lee Johnson on the western side of the course has a distinct advantage on the run here to Ramsey. But then we feel over the mountain it goes the other way. It's Adam McLean who seems to get it quicker over the mountain. At Balaf Bridge we had Paul Owen and that Joey Thompson, that battle there. Certainly that was showing that they were kind of separated by nothing to 4 or 5 seconds there, but certainly at the bungalow Adam McLean has made the mountain climb. Let's see whether we're right. We're expecting Joey Thompson here at Ramsey Hairpin, number 11, 57 seconds he was down, and it looks as though that's been maintained. 57 seconds, the advantage that Dean Harrison has over number 11, Joey Thompson. Dean Harrison in 4th place, Joey Thompson in 5th place as they head up now towards the bungalow, which Adam McLean has made. He has made the mountain climb, so maybe it's him that's getting the advantage off the draft over the mountain, or as we mentioned before, it might all be down to gearing. It'll all remain to be seen, but certainly the carburation, when we were talking about that as well, it's another kind of factor that comes into the equation. I mean, some of these modern machines now are all computer controlled, and we had an interesting discussion the other night with the future of the way things are going. Certainly in Formula One car racing they can control everything from the pit, but when you're going at sea level and then suddenly climb up to the highest point of the circuit, the carburation is absolutely vital. And certainly that might be the case as well. In the days of the 60s when they were running all the 2-strokes, they reckon the Suzuki, the 4-cylinder Suzuki, if a passing cloud went over when it was going past, it would affect the carburation. I can tell you that Ian Locker and Dean Harrison have made the mountain climb to the bungalow, and the difference between them is about the same, but Lee Johnson is not hanging about on the 3rd lap. He's now up to 9 seconds, his advantage over number 3, Adam McLean. So Lee Johnson leads at the bungalow by 9 seconds, and in 2nd place Adam McLean, a further 58 seconds back in 3rd. Number 5, Ian Locker, down on Adam McLean, 58 seconds. Back to the grandstand.
Light is on for number 3, Adam McLean at Cronknamona, but I think Lee Johnston has got the smell of a second Classic TT victory in his nostrils. He was the winner in 2014 of the Junior 350cc race over 3 laps on the MV Augusta. I think the Black Eagle MV that will be, but he is now chasing a lightweight victory as well. Colin Croft, I can tell you, is the second speeding offender as in pit lane. Only just over is over, and it's 30 seconds that Colin Croft has been penalised. But yes, at the bungalow, 9 seconds the advantage for number 13, Lee Johnston, ahead of number 3, Adam McLean. And we're going to see Adam come into view right on cue now. Crosses the line. Of course, won't be anything special on the speed side of things because it will include the pit stop at the end of the 2nd lap, but it is at 111.181 miles per hour, or 20 minutes, 21.679 seconds there. Light is on for number 5, Ian Locker, at Cronknamona, and also is on for number 13, Lee Johnston, and number 2, Dean Harrison. Lee Johnston's lead Cronknamona is now 10.128 seconds ahead of Adam McLean. So it is an increasing margin. Not too much, though, coming down off the mountain, but still it is just a slight increase. So we are expecting Ian Locker interview next, and probably it'll be then Dean Harrison and then Lee Johnston, as we only have a few bikes still up at the bungalow. But Stain 4 still only indicated at Cronknamona, but Ian Locker on that beautifully prepared Leylog bike should be interview very, very shortly across the traffic lights. Here he is, crosses the line. And we should have Dean Harrison and Lee Johnston through as well, and then we can give you what the margin is here. And it is Lee Johnston who's got ahead of Dean Harrison. And probably with that manoeuvre is why he's just dropped around about a second, but he was probably overtaking Dean Harrison at some point there. But it is Lee Johnston who leads number 13 by 9.226 seconds ahead of number 3, Adam McLean. He in turn is 58.2 seconds ahead of number 5, Ian Locker, and he in turn is 43.3 seconds ahead of, in 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison. But Lee Johnston has got ahead on the road now, ahead of Dean Harrison, but is 9.2 seconds ahead of Adam McLean as they head out onto their 4th and final lap in this Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. Let's just see if there are any more retirements. No, the last retirements we had were in the pits, were number 14 Gary Vines and number 32 Stephen Howard. So Lee Johnson, 111.870 on that lap, compared to Adam McLean at 111.181 miles per hour. Ian Locker, 107.623, but he did take a longer time than anyone in the pit stops at the end of lap 2. And Dean Harrison just hasn't got the speed that Locker has out there on the track, 107.840. So Lee Johnson, including a pit stop, 111.870 is 20 minutes 14.155 seconds. Let's go back to Cronknamona, and the light is on for number 11, Joey Thompson. So he will be the next to come through here at the grandstand. And we can tell you too that Joey Thompson is just ahead at the bungalow, ahead of Paul Owen, who's into 6th position, considering that he's spent most of the night and this morning rebuilding that bike and just said he wanted 4 laps. Well, fair play to Paul Owen. He's going to get the 4 laps, hopefully, 1 more to go, and also manage, just an extraordinary achievement. Probably hardly any sleep. I think he said about 3 hours sleep. But it should be Joey Thompson into view, number 11. Here he is. So Joey Thompson confirmed in 5th position, and he is 1 minute and 1.861 seconds behind in 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison, and a lap of 21 minutes 11.874 seconds, which is 106.79 miles per hour. Of course, includes though the pit stop. Light on at the light isn't on. It's at the bungalow, so we're going right the way back to the bungalow, and the 7th bike has made it there, and that is number 18, Ricky McGovern, in 7th position. But let's go to Glen Helen. Dave Christian, last lap.
Thanks. Leader just arriving, bang on Q-Temp. Fast approach, big knee out, drifts a little bit wide on the exit, but still pretty smooth. Not quite perhaps as tight as his line was on the previous lap, but that's Adam McLean safely through here for the final time this afternoon. And we now have the stopwatch ticking as we wait for the arrival of Ian Locker and Lee Johnston. Ian Locker, as we were just observing here in our commentary box, seems to be in a fairly steady position there. He's unlikely to catch Adam McLean. He was 58 seconds behind him at the grandstand, but he's also 43 seconds clear of Dean Harrison. So Ian Locker in a very nice, comfortable third place there, just waiting to pounce in case anybody has a mishap up above him. But at the moment, Lee Johnston seems to be in the driving seat, 9-second lead at the grandstand. Let's see what it distills into when they get out here to Glen Helen. Nothing remarkable from the speed trap times on lap on lap 3. Locker quickest, the fastest of the race so far, 151.8. Lee Johnson 151.5, Joey Thompson 148.5, Adam McLean 147.8, and Dean Harrison 145.9. So all pretty steady. But here's the next man off the throttle, flick to the right, down the gearbox, and he comes out, and then he gets onto the power for the climb away. That's Ian Locker, steady as you like, and safely through here on his final lap. But here's the general, Lee Johnston. He's safely through as well. No dramas at all for Lee. And I think making up the top 4, Dean Harrison. Excuse me. Let's got that one sorted. Dean Harrison safely through on his final lap as well. So for 1 minute we got big gaps. Next thing, all 4 are arriving together. But Lee Johnston has the lead, number 13. He leads number 3, Adam McLean, by 14 seconds at Glen Helen on the last lap. In third place, number 5, Ian Locker. He is 56 seconds back on Adam McLean. Just clawed 2 seconds back on Adam from the grandstand to Glen Helen. And in fourth place, number 2, Dean Harrison, who is 48 seconds behind Ian Locker. So it looks like Locker's pulling away from Harrison and closing on McLean just a little bit, but I don't think that's going to change anything in this final lap. There's a reasonably clear track ahead of them. The 2 last guys to come through, number 49, Mark Woods, and number 56, Jamie O'Brien. I think Mark Woods was about a minute and a half ahead of Adam McLean on the road. Jamie O'Brien probably just over 2 minutes, so they may just start to catch up with those guys, but there's no 4 or 5 men circulating together like a rolling roadblock or anything like that. Pretty clear track in front and behind. So that's Lee Johnston with a 14-second lead at Glen Helen on the final lap. Looking at some of those names that we were following earlier on, a great ride from Steve Alt, number 41. The Ramsey man started in 27th place at Glen Helen on lap 3. He was up to 9th place. Fantastic ride there from Steve Alt. 9th place for number 41. And the other Ramsey man, the mayor of Ramsey himself, the Right Honourable Andy Cowie, riding number 53 this afternoon. He started at 32nd and he was up to 15th. So a good performance from Andy Cowie. Number 47, Simon Hunt, started in 28th. We got him up to 12th place at Glen Helen on lap 3. Number 57, David Glover, started 34th. He was up to 14th. And number 50, James Tye, another 20th place haul for him. He started in 37th, Glen Helen on lap 3. We had him at 16th place. So good performances all therein, but Steve Alt profited from others' misfortune and really fired himself up the leaderboard there inside the top 10. And we're just waiting for him to come through the grandstand now so we can see the gap between the 8th and 9th place, just to see if there's a possibility he might nick another place as the race progresses. Next man on the road swings in now. It's Joey Thompson, number 11. Fantastic looking green bike. And he's onto the power and making his climb away, but he's holding a very, very solid 5th place for number 11, Joey Thompson. He's a minute and 9 seconds behind 4th place, Dean Harrison, but at the grandstand he had a cushion of a minute and 43 seconds over 6th place, Paul Owen. So Joey Thompson should be able to nurse that round and get a lovely top 5 place for him. But at the top there, it was Lee Johnson. It was only a 1/10 of a second on lap 3, but he got the hammer down from Glen Helen onwards, probably got a signal somewhere to indicate how close it was. And he's ridden that thing like he stole it and pushed quite a sizable gap up now, 14 seconds with 2/3 of a lap to go. So on your final lap at Glen Helen, it is Lee Johnston, number 13, with a 14-second lead over number 3, Adam McLean. And Adam McLean is in turn 55 seconds ahead of 3rd place, Ian Locker. That's number 5, Ian Locker, in 3rd place. 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison, 48 seconds back on Ian Locker. And making up your top 5, number 11, Joey Thompson, a minute and 9 seconds adrift of Harrison. Back to you at the grandstand.
At Ballaugh Bridge, it's an extended advantage for number 13 as a bike goes past the grandstand. Lee Johnston is 18 seconds ahead now of number 3, Adam McLean. The advantage was 14 seconds at Glen Helen. Stephen Olt, number 41, just through here at the grandstand. And just looking out on the track, very little activity in many ways, because only 23 machines still going, 12 retirements that we have. But it looks as if we are going to get Lee Johnston. Well, he certainly would like to get now from Ballaugh Bridge to the finish here, and he's on for around about 118 mile an hour or so lap as Adrian Morris just crosses the line here at the grandstand. But let's head out to Roy Moore at Ramsey Hairpin.
Bit of concern here at Ramsey. We've just heard the fire alarm. I sincerely hope it's not anywhere on the inside of the circuit to stop this race, but certainly the fire alarm has gone. It might be by mistake down in Ramsey, but it's not stopped Adam McLean making it here to Ramsey. Number 3, Adam McLean. McLean safely through as well, and certainly not hanging about, actually getting the front wheel up in the air as he accelerates away. So more sedate approach there from the next runner in. We'll have to check our list on that one, and it is number 49. So the race second place man passed him, 49. Just getting an indication there from him that it was in fact Mark Woods who was gone through Ramsey Hairpin with a lap to go. So that is the case. So we're just waiting now for the rest to arrive. And certainly we didn't want to cause any alarm, just like the alarm going off, but certainly it could be an indicator. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We go back to Ballaugh Bridge, and it was 18 seconds the lead for number 13, Lee Johnson, ahead of Adam McLean there, within third place, number 5, Ian Locker. So no other machines into view, and certainly Adam McLean well gone now, and we can't work the time differences out, but we have sound off bikes coming towards us now, and sweeping out from Stella Maris is number 5, Ian Locker. So he's well ahead on there for his thing, but this is the race leader here, Lee Johnson. It's up to 21 seconds now. He tips it in, the Paget's machine there, and as he done previously, it's geared up, so maybe with the indication going away from Ramsey Hairpin, they've geared it up, but it's Lee Johnson at Ramsey Hairpin on the last lap from Adam McLean by 21 seconds. That is the difference, so a further 3 seconds made up on the run from Ballaugh Bridge here to Ramsey is number 2. Number 2, Dean Harrison, comes through, and certainly he's holding on to that 4th place as he was at Ballaugh. And now the gap has gone out to 1 minute. 1 minute exactly that he is behind teammate Ian Locker. So we were getting a bit wound up about it all there, but certainly number 13, Lee Johnson, is safely through Ramsey Hairpin on his 4th lap, and the gap between him, number 2, Adam McLean, is 21 seconds. 21 seconds is the difference. Third place for number 5, Ian Locker. He's 51 seconds down, but I think he'll be absolutely delighted with a podium place. 51 seconds down on Adam McLean, so that is the case there. And then in 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison, who is a minute down on Ian Locker. And such has been the pace of this race. We look back to Ballaugh Bridge, and it's only Joey Thompson and Paul Owen who have gone over Ballaugh Bridge, so only 6 riders over Ballaugh Bridge, which means there's only 2 riders between Ballaugh Bridge and Ramsey Hairpin. Just take time out to mention that number 54 might just go through to get his completion of his lap. Andy Bush Davies, a very good friend of my young fellas on the YPM circuit, and certainly building his own bike and getting it round in 3 years. 350cc, that one particular one is, and certainly due to ride last year but didn't get over, and certainly over this year. And how many laps of the Snow family put in, and certainly when you look back and get the results through, or the top 20, top riders going through, Tom Snow is out there, and certainly been a long connection with the Snow family on the island as well. The man who stopped here, we were not quite sure. Our new commentary position here doesn't allow you to kind of stick your head out and find out what the problem was. But the man who was that Karsten Schwensen, I think it was, yeah. Just obviously the first thing he did was get out the mobile phone to indicate to everybody back at the grandstand that he'd stopped at Ramsey Hairpin. I think it was something to do with the rear end of the machine, because that appeared the case when he came in. Ian Locker, well, you're thinking about 2018, and one of my highlights of kind of commentary was when he did that fastest lap. And when you talk about Steve Hislop being disappointed about not getting a 250 win, he was there in the kind of holding area getting ready to get the garland for his 250 win, and Ian Locker set an absolute blistering pace of 117 on the final lap and just pipped him. We have a machine at Ramsey Hairpin, and it's that of number 11, Joey Thompson. BP certainly on the side of that machine and safely through as well, and Joey Thompson 1 minute and 18 seconds down on Dean Harrison, but holding on to fifth. We can tell you that Adam McLean and Ian Locker are through the bungalow. We can tell you now that Lee Johnston is through the bungalow as well. That gives an indication to everybody down connected with the pit crew. He's made the mountain climb to the bungalow, and certainly Lee Johnson, number 13 there, increasing his lead again by a further 4 seconds on the climb from Ramsey Hairpin to the bungalow. It is now 25 seconds that Lee Johnson holds the advantage over, in second place, Adam McLean. And he holds a 49-second advantage. It's all down now over Ian Locker. It's all down now to reliability to get it to the finish. Back to the grandstand.
First bike light on for number 3, Adam McLean at Cronknamona, as Dave Madston Migdal and Andrew Davies, number 29 and 54, just gone past us here at the grandstand, setting off on their final lap of this Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. 1 minute 40 seconds the difference in start times between number 3 Adam McLean and number 13 Lee Johnston, and at the bungalow the gap was 25.239 seconds. Johnston leading McLean 13 ahead of 3. So I think it is just about done and dusted, but we'll see Adam McLean across the line very shortly, and I think it's going to be a second place finish for him as the checkered flag is readied, and then we'll have the stopwatch running, and there's 1 minute 40 for Lee Johnston to make it home as he crosses the line now. And he will go down to the end of Glen Crutchley Road just before St Ninians will turn in, make the big horseshoe turn up the return lane. He will be, of course, guided into the winner's enclosure, and a last lap of 115.902, which is 19 minutes 31.923 there for Adam McLean. And I can see him making his way into the enclosure, but we will hang fire here as we approach 40 seconds. So within the next minute, Lee Johnston needs to make it home. He is at Cronknamona, light on for 13 and for 5, Ian Locker and 2, Dean Harrison, and 27.5 seconds was the advantage, and we're going to see Ian Locker and Lee Johnston come across the finish line very shortly indeed. There is Locker, and we should next see Lee Johnston, number 13, coming through. Here he is, and he takes the victory. The winner of the Junior Classic TT in 2014 is now the victor of the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. Well done, Lee Johnston. Let's go to Chris Kinley.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tim. Yeah, the 250s, just having a little chat to Milky there was before, and this is such a great sound, isn't it? When they go past Glen Crutchley Road here, and it's so quiet and still, and I can hear them going all the way down to Upson Knees, all the way down Bray Hill, and just over the other side of Aggo's Lee. But Adam McLean's into that second place, just waiting for Lee to come in so we can do the interviews in the order. The team is straight and going to turn the fuel off. There it goes, the fuel is now turned off. I won't get in the way, the guys get the photographs. Because if you come, is Ian Locker, gets a good third place, does Ian? Give him a little push backwards so we can get into the spot. The Laylaw Bike and Easy Lope race winner, Lee Johnson. Don't think he can quite believe it. I think he's just asked Paul, did he win? Yes, he has. Well done to him. So Lee is in with the win, and Paul Phillips gives him a bit of a push down into his number 1 spot. Well done to Lee. Let the photographs be taken. Let the Paget's boys get in. Sorry, let's jump round the side. with the green light chaps. And is that somebody's phone number on there, is it?
Yeah, some woman was halfway around and stopped, and nah, it's Clive's number for if anything goes wrong. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So, talk us through. Let you take your gloves off first there, Lee. We'll get the stand on. The boys are here straight away, and a win for Lee Johnson. Second classic TT win now with the with obviously this one and the other one. They had the 250. Good to win it though. Adam McLean giving you a good run, a really good run.
Yeah, I was really enjoying it. I laughed. The lads said you have to try and win it at the slowest possible pace, so it gives less chance of things going wrong. So the first lap there was quite a big accident. I don't know who it was or whatever, and like an Ion.
There's a kiss from Clive.
An Ion stopped on the lap, so I think that cost us quite a lot of time, at the start. So hopefully they're all right. I don't know the name of the corner, but it's where Milky crashed.
So yeah, okay, just after Ballacrane, yeah. But
so hopefully they're okay. But no, I really enjoyed it, and Clive Paget's made one of my child life dreams come true. You didn't get his lap record though. Thanks to this man for letting me ride the bike as well. Bruce Anstey's a hero of mine, so it's an absolute privilege.
Did you know that Adam had a good lead, only 1 second in one point? It's about 4 or 5 seconds he had.
Yeah, that was it. That was right at the start, wasn't it? Yeah, so I don't know if the person that crashed behind Adam. Okay. So I think that's what it was, because it literally just happened as I was coming to it, so it hadn't happened very long. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess as well. Like, so fair play to the marshals and stuff for getting that sorted out. But yeah, this little bike's an absolute weapon in it. So I wish I was born 20 years ago and this was an actual TT podium and we could ride these at the actual TT.
Can you imagine that?
I would love to, yeah.
With Joey and all them, and John McGuinness and all that.
Unbelievable, yeah. So
what about this old boy to you? This side locker?
That's what when I was following him round there, it was like, this is like, he's probably one of the best lightweight TT riders of all time. Well, obviously one of the best TT riders of all time, but especially on one of these and lightweight bikes. So I had a little giggle to myself when I was following him round there on the last lap. But no, really enjoyed it.
Well done, Lee.
Thank you, mate.
Well done to Lee Johnson. Excellent stuff. Takes the race win. Let's grab a word if we can with Adam McLean, who gets the second place. And Steve, I'm just going to get in. We'll just quickly do one. Adam, well done, mate. I mean, he didn't see the bike till he got on it when he got here. So to get it there and to lead the race as well. It's only your second time. People forget this. This is only your second year here at the Isle of Man, isn't it?
Yes, second year here, so that'll do nicely.
Talk us about the 250. I mean, you're obviously a 600 rider. You've had a bit of experience of 125s and stuff. But what about 250s? What experience have you had on these before?
Very, very little. I rode one when I was younger, but I hadn't a clue what I was doing with it. But no, I really enjoyed it. Obviously, the start of the week was the first time I saw the bike, and with the lack of laps we had and stuff, so struggled a wee bit with setup throughout the week, and then sort of in the race too, the bike wasn't just right. But no, apart from that, it was really, really good. Bench racing, brilliant lads. Very enjoyable to work with and so professional, so I can't thank them enough for putting together a brilliant bike. They worked so hard all week to give me the best possible bike to do my job, so no, really chuffed for that. Big thanks to the team, and yeah, happy.
How do these compare to the big bikes you've rode here before, the 600 and stuff like that? How does this thing compare? They say a 250 around the Isle of Man is the best thing ever.
It is. It's the hardest thing to ride. So
corner speed.
Yeah, corner speed. You have a window from about 10,000 revs to 12.5, and you have to keep her singing in that all the time. So, aye.
Good job. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done to Adam. Well done, son. Excellent stuff there. Just getting a big handshake from Lee Johnson, and let's speak to the old man of the sea. Well done, Ian. Congratulations. Another podium here on the Isle of Man. Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the race. We were just playing a little bit safe with on the jetting side of things. We don't, as probably everybody else was as well. With only getting a few laps in practice, and we had a few problems yesterday. But Eddie and the boys pulled out all the stops there last night and working and putting it back together. And it was good. I can't complain. It's just a shade on the rich side maybe. It's they're so finicky, these bikes now, to get just to get right. And when you're not working on them week in week out, it's back in the day we were being British Championships and coming here and everywhere, and I think it's easier to sort of maybe find a path with them. But no, I enjoyed the race. It was good, and yeah, I caught past Dean. I was about the only person I saw, I think.
Just going to say, you're just saying about it being just a little bit rich, maybe a little lean or whatever. You guys on the 250s in the day, Palmer, Chris was saying that these things are so, his one was so infinite, because when I think David Johnson went off one of the practice nights, when he set off it was like 56 degrees or something like that, and Chris is going, nah, that's not going to get any further. It's so critical, these things, to be spot on for them to be 100%, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not a road bike, these things are proper race bikes, and they weren't made with lights on. So, you have to be, they're basically a prototype, and they're fantastic, and they're fantastic to ride. If only we could go back to these, it would be fantastic. I'd keep riding till I'm 75.
That's next week. Lee just said he wishes he was riding 20 odd years ago when these 250s were in the prime, and he said he was following you on that last lap, and he said, I'm behind Ian Locker, and he started laughing to himself on a 250 because he was behind you on a 250.
Yeah, he was saying to me how much he enjoyed it at the Ulster, and he rode at the Ulster, and he was saying, oh God, I was born 20 years too late, but no, it's fantastic, and really enjoyed the race, like I say, and it's just another Ostrom, and I'm happy enough,
Well done, Ian.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian. Thank you very much. Well done to the top three in the Dunlop lightweight TT, and we'll go back to you, Tim.
Just wondering, Chris, if you could still be near Ian Locker, what happened in the pits? Because they were so slow, weren't they, in the pits compared to everyone else?
That could be a battle if I think he's just doing a bit of TV actually now. So yeah, he's just doing a TV interview with Steve Parrish.
Okay, we better draw a line under that. Thank you very much indeed. Chris Kinley down there in the winners' enclosure, and that is the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. Only 5 finishers so far. Joey Thompson has also finished on his Honda while the interviews were taking place. The last lap of 111.771 miles per hour is 1 minute and 24 seconds down on 4th place, number 2, Dean Harrison on the Yamaha. Last lap for Dean of 113.845, and he was 1 minute and nearly 20 seconds behind our man in 3rd place, Ian Locker. Last lap of 117.439 miles per hour, and Ian was 42, nearly 43 seconds down on Adam McLean. Adam McLean, a last lap of 115.902 miles per hour, and he finished 29.269 seconds down on our race winner, number 13, Lee Johnston, 117.919 miles per hour on the last lap. So it's not a race record or any lap records in that, because Bruce Anstey holds that from last year. Bruce Anstey that's just across the line there is number 11. No, it's not. It's 18, Ricky McGovern. I was just thinking 11's already finished. Ricky McGovern just clicked through on the screen at 105.81 and currently showing in 6th position here at the grandstand. So looking at Lee Johnston then, a race time of 1 hour 18 minutes 14.170 seconds. He finished nearly half a minute, as we say, ahead of Adam McLean. Adam McLean 1 minute 18 1 hour 18 minutes 43.439 seconds. Ian Locker 1 hour 19 minutes 26.347 seconds. Dean Harrison in 4th, 1 hour 20 minutes 46.187 seconds. Joey Thompson, number 11, in 5th, 1 hour 22 minutes 10.189 seconds. And Ricky McGovern in 6th currently at 1 hour 26 minutes 12.528. So a gap of currently 4 minutes and 2 seconds between 5th and 6th places. Let's just have a look at the retirements. Oh, sorry to say that Paul Owen has retired, unfortunately, after all that work. But he got onto the last lap after 3 hours sleep, all that work overnight, into the night, and then this morning. But he'll be able to go and see the penguins and the seals, because he's at the Wildlife Park is where the bike has finished. So that is unlucky there for number 12, Paul Owen. So 13 odd retirements, and looking at where our back markers are, because 29 and 54 did go through. Just before we saw Adam McLean finish. They are at Burlap Bridge, but of course they've got to make it all the way back here to the grandstand before anything else will be happening here. We have got the podium, of course, to come to. But currently we've got 16 bikes still out, 13 retired, and we've got the pit lane now being cleared with the canisters being emptied, and the jerry cans are at the ready. So let's just see if we have any more at Cronknamona. We do. We have Tom Snow, number 23, and also Stephen Alt, number 41. And it should be Mr. Snow that we should see first of all. And here he is, 23, across the line now. And Tom Snow, last lap there of 105.36, and that slots him in to 7th position currently on the Yamaha, and he's 1 minute 36.423 seconds down on Ricky McGovern. And 41 crosses the line, Stephen Alt on the Yamaha, 104.89. He's in 8th position, but he was just 10.159 seconds there behind number 23, Tom Snow, in 7th position. So just the 8 finishers here at the grandstand. I can tell you, though, that number 34, Adrian Morris, is currently now light on at Cronknamona, and lights on for 52 and 47 as well, James Ford and Simon Hunt. Just looking down below, I can see the first people coming out from the winners' enclosure heading up towards the podium right in the centre of pit lane. And Adrian Morris just getting waves and congratulations there as he crosses the line to get a finish. 104.43 for number 34, Adrian Morris, miles per hour on the last lap. And that puts Adrian Morris into 9th position on the leaderboard, 16.2 seconds down on in 8th place number 41, Stephen Alt. More bikes about to come through, but I can see photographers have made their way up, and Adam McLean is down there as well, ready for the podium. And just looking further down, stretch over another finisher about to cross the line, and that is 47. 47 is Simon Hunt, and there is 52, that's James Ford. Simon Hunt 103.51 on the last lap, and 103.53 for James Ford. So I think they've been circulating in pretty close company. And on the results page, that will put let's just go back to that. That will put, let's see where they finish. James Ford currently showing then in 10th position. 1 minute and 3 seconds behind in 9th, number 34, Adrian Morris. And 11th place for number 47, Simon Hunt. 6.7 seconds down as number 8, Chris Moore, just finishes. He's in 12th position, but 4 minutes down on 11th place. And that is 6.7 down. 11th place is 47, Simon Hunt. So 12th place for number 8, Chris Moore. It's been a long day. Right, looking down, I can see Ian Locker as well there, ready to go up onto the podium, and just shaking hands again with Adam McLean. And Lee Johnston has just made it as well, our race winner. And the garlanding is going to be done by Ewan McGuinness, the son of John McGuinness. And that is on behalf of the sponsors, of course, Dunlop. We are ready for the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT podium, so let's bring on the fanfare. So the Scouts make their way up with the Manx flag and the Union Jack, and the Lightweight Classic TT trophy will await the winner as Ian Locker takes his place, and Adam McLean as well. And there is our race winner, Lee Johnson. So the podium for the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT. In 3rd place, on a Yamaha, Ian Locker. And Ewan McGuinness making the presentations. In second place on a Yamaha, Adam McLean. And the Dunlop Lightweight Classic TT winner, a second time on the top step at the Classic. Our winner on a Honda, Lee Johnston. And the caps are being handed out as well as the applause rings out. And now the Classic TT Lightweight Trophy is presented to our race winner, Lee Johnston. And he'll now be able to hold that aloft. He takes a little look at it, little kiss too. And congratulations to all on the podium, all the finishers. But Lee Johnson, of course, is the victor.